Welcome back. It's the most common cancer in the U.S. with nearly 10,000 new diagnoses every single day. We are talking about melanoma. And it's not the only skin cancer risk that you could face by going outside without sunscreen. The worst offenders when it comes to skipping UV protection for their skin, men. Now cancer survivors, brands, and even a major celebrity are trying to convince men to take more precautions. ABC's Dr. Darien Sutton explores why men are so against sunscreen and the major risk they take by not applying it.
He's a wrestling superstar. John Cena can slam his opponents to the ground with ease. He's also one of Hollywood's most bankable celebrities, often playing up the macho.
I'm exercising the muscles in my face, making my face more muscular.
But it's the 48-year-old's latest role that has men talking.
Neutrogena Ultra Sheer Mineral Sunscreen.
The A-lister partnered with Neutrogena's sunscreen line with the message: even the toughest guys are no match for the sun. And he's living proof. In an interview with People magazine, Cena revealed he's been diagnosed with skin cancer twice, discovering melanoma on his chest and back. He blames not taking sun protection seriously. I'm out here in Soho today, and the UV index is a 7. That means that everyone theoretically should have some level of sun protection on. Let's see if that's the truth.
I don't need to put glop on myself.
And you wear sunblock.
Well, you know, my makeup has sunblock. He won't even let me spray him with sunblock.
Do you wear sunblock every day?
Yes, I do wear sunblock every day.
Do you wear sunblock every day?
I wear sunblock every day. I don't even know why. I guess it's just not part of my routine. Maybe I should implement it more.
Do you have sunblock on now?
No. I know the UVs are probably high right now.
Yeah.
And now we're talking about it. I'm embarrassed.
Have you been taught to use sunblock at all, or is it something you think about?
I've been taught, but I can't use it because it irritates my skin. That's why I have to wear this here.
Daily sunscreen, split along the gender line. One study from the CDC found that just 12% of men use sunscreen regularly, compared to almost a third of women. By age 65, men are twice as likely than women to develop melanoma. By age 80, that jumps to 2 to 3 times as likely. At one of the top cancer hospitals in the country, we meet a doctor and his patient.
We played baseball against each other. We were on different teams, and he ran his mouth so much.
Anthony didn't like me.
Yeah. So I was like
8th grade baseball,
yeah.
You know, like.
He said stuff about my mom. He's never even met my mom. Yeah.
This is recorded.
Yeah, I know.
They've known each other for a long time. Dermatologist Dr. Anthony Rossi and Stephen Palmisi's friendship began when they were kids, growing up on Staten Island. What was skincare like in that time period?
Skincare was one-dimensional. It was if you're having, acne outbreaks, you go to the dermatologist, you had a prescription for Retin A, and that was it.
I'm from a very Italian family who were always tan, and they would be like, you need to go to the tanning salon because you're so pale.
Was there any discussion about risk of sun damage?
There wasn't even a thought. It was I'd go out in the sun, I'm looking for a tan, going to the gym and looking good, and then having a tan that would enhance or, sort of really show your muscles was kind of what the thought process was.
Dr. Rossi examined his friend's skin and discovered a concerning spot.
Said, hey, come in, we should take a look at what's on your leg.
That spot was melanoma. Stephen taking it as a wake-up call.
Now I'm consciously aware of my skin, always checking my moles. And now I have children, so I'm, constantly checking my children as well.
While genetics can play a part, skin cancer is largely caused by prolonged exposure to UV rays. It's the most common cancer in the United States, with nearly 10,000 new diagnoses every single day. The majority of those cases in men. Help me understand the types of skin cancer that you see often.
The most common cancer reported in the United States is basal cell carcinoma. Basal cell carcinoma tends to be more locally aggressive. Squamous cell carcinoma is probably the second most common type that we see. It does have a little bit of a larger tendency to be locally aggressive or metastasize. And then the third most common type that we see is melanoma. It is even more likely to cause problems throughout the body or to become deadly.
Am I at as much risk as my peers who are not black?
my patients of color because certain types of melanoma, for instance, one called acrolentiginous melanoma, is more likely to come up in people of color. That's a melanoma that comes up on the palm of the hand or the sole of the foot and is typically very aggressive. Men are more likely to develop every single kind of of the common skin cancers that we see.
I have, I guess what some people might call white coat syndrome. I hate going to a doctor.
Attorney Stephen Sladkis is a husband, a father, and a lover of the sun.
I would sit by the pool with my wife and kids, not put any sunscreen on my face. I'd love to get a nice red burn that I guess I would hope would turn into a tan. And to me, that looked healthy.
For years, he's avoided seeing a dermatologist until his wife urged him to go. It was during that visit the doctor found something concerning.
And she said, well, how long have you had this mole on the top of your head? And I said, I have no idea. I really never look at the top of my head.
A week later, Stephen received a life-altering phone call.
It was my dermatologist. And she said, Stephen, I hate to break this to you, but your mole on your head was melanoma. I'm sitting on the curb going, oh my God, this can't be happening. I mean, you hear the word melanoma, you hear cancer, you freak out.
With melanoma, there's a high survival rate, especially when caught early, with 95% of patients still alive 5 years after their diagnosis. After a successful surgery, Stephen, with that scar as a reminder, now proactive with how he views his entire health, regularly going to doctors and wearing sunscreen with protective clothing.
If people know the benefits of using SPF every day and they literally don't, why is that? And so that was the aha moment that we had for Sol Labs.
Seth Nelson started Sol Labs, a mineral sunscreen brand with his wife Jenny. After sitting in on one of her dermatology appointments, the doctor noticed a spot on his leg. It was melanoma.
You realize that, wow, my past has led up to this point, but now my future has to be a different direction.
The two of them realized sunscreen is often marketed towards women. They saw a growing demand from men wanting to protect their skin for daily use. They're part of a growing number of companies creating gender-neutral packaging and marketing to men outright, like the brand Oars and Alps.
Men want to embrace better skin care, better skin health, sun care, and sun health. We just gotta give them something.
When did you first start having discussions about managing exposure to the sun and protecting your skin?
If I'm being honest, like even in med school, like I was still getting sunburned. It wasn't really until I really focused in on dermatology that you started to see like all the melanomas that would come into clinic and, young people who were presenting with bad melanomas. But I noticed that this spot kept flaking and kept like itching on my arm. And so I got a biopsy and it was a basal cell carcinoma.
Dr. Rossi showed us the scar on his arm, a reminder of the past, then showing us the future of skin health, taking us into a high-tech exam room.
Wow, this is incredible.
Yeah. This 3D total body scanner at Memorial Sloan Kettering is one of just a few in the world. It uses more than 90 cameras, and with the backing of artificial intelligence, it can flag any suspicious-looking spots.
How long does that process take?
Seconds. And then the computer generates the 3D avatar that we can rotate and spin and look at every angle of your body.
What do you wish people would understand about skin cancer now that you've had your experience?
People take their skin for granted. And so there's also this notion that I'm either too young or it's not going to happen to me.
If you could time travel and go back in time, would you stop yourself from getting in those tanning beds?
Yeah, I honestly, I didn't even look good anyway after, so I shouldn't have been in there in the first place,
Hopefully this message will hit home. Our thanks to Dr. Darien Sutton for that.